Welcome to the Be Student Podcast, and thank you for joining me. So many people want to build communities online and have them convert to business, and so many people don't understand how to start. On today's episode, we're going to teach you how you can get started, how you can keep going, and how you can turn an online community into leads and successful business for you. Join us for today's episode. We can't wait to get started. Today, I have the privilege of talking to Trevor Brown, a successful realtor in the greater Orlando area with Fannie Hillman and Associates. Welcome, Trevor.
Hey, thank
you. I'm
you.
so glad you're here because I think of you as someone who is, and I know this word kind of is overused, but I think you are a disruptor to how people are approaching how to do real estate. Just for our listeners, because we're so excited. We have listeners all around the world now, and we welcome you. We're glad you're with us. We want to frame for them kind of what Winter Park is like from a real estate perspective. My mom worked for Fannie Hillman back in the 80s and 90s. And for our English listeners, they're going to have a hard time just hearing that name, by the way.
Yeah.
But I will say that Winter Park, not much of it has changed in the way people use land or the way they approach real estate. And yet we're hearing more and more that people who can live anywhere are moving to Winter Park. And so the methodologies they're going to want to use are going to be different. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the podcast, as you know, the whole purpose of the Be Student Podcast is to kind of go underneath and understand what the B side of your record is. We know it's realtor, but what is it that you're doing as a human that's activating your potential as a realtor? So welcome. I'm so glad you're here.
Happy to be
I want
here.
to talk a little bit about, your origin story and how you got here. We both share a common background in that we both graduated from University of Florida. What did you major in there?
I majored in advertising.
Okay.
So
not a surprise. I think we
Yeah.
already know the B side to your record.
Yeah.
This is pretty smart. And then talk to us about a little bit of the journey of moving from majoring in advertising to becoming a residential realtor in a very Tony high-end residential real estate market.
Sure. So my background is in advertising, degrees in advertising from University of Florida. Go Gators.
Yeah. It's a really rigorous program and very well respected there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it's from everyone that I talk to, it's getting harder and harder to get in there. So University of Florida, came out of there and started working for an advertising agency here in Orlando right out of college and worked for them. A lot of our clients were car dealers across the country. I was in charge of kind of the media spend, budgeting, account management, like that. I wanted to get more into the creative side of account management for the advertising there.
Writing copy, setting strategy for brand messaging, et cetera. Yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. More of the strategy creative side of it.
Okay.
And I was kind of stuck behind the desk doing a little bit of more of the paper pushing.
Yeah.
I knew that I had a knack for it and just
How
wanted
did you
to
know?
I just always grew up creative. I always grew up like, when the old Mac computers, the big ones came out and they first had that like camera on the screen. My brother and I remember like we would just be making like videos in our bedrooms of like trick shots, throwing, little basketballs at our bedroom basketball hoops. And we were, just doing crazy stuff, skateboarding out in the driveway, and we wanted to record it and we wanted to make something. We always had that creative knack.
Okay.
And so out of the advertising world, COVID happens. They do the work from home. They lay a couple people off. I was included in that layoff. I have a couple of friends and family who tell me, you should get into real estate. You have this magnetic personality. You have this great root system here in Orlando, Winter Park. You have all these relationships. You have these people that and people who work for Fannie Hillman already. They can give you the in.
Right.
So I interview with them. I say, hey, here's my situation. I'm thinking about getting my real estate license. I would really love to work here. I have a couple people who can vouch for me, relationships already. And they say, you go get your license and you've got a spot here.
Wow. That's pretty amazing because, Fannie Hillman is a longtime trusted key mover in the Winter Park real estate market, where, just to anchor this, I think our average single family home price in 24 was $1.2 million. We're not talking about New York, Brooklyn. We're talking about Winter Park, Florida, maybe a place some of our listeners have never even heard of.
Sure.
Right? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, for a lot of people that I talk to who are relocating to the Orlando, Central Florida area, still kind of a hidden gem.
Right.
For a lot of people around Central Florida, they've heard of Winter Park, they've heard of all the things that happen around here. But for people who might be from Colorado, California, New York, all these people relocating, they say, let me Google that. Let me look that up. That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
And what I started to get into was, yes, on the real estate side, it can just be about houses. There's a lot of people who do that, where it's, let me show you my new listing. Let me show you what I just sold. Let me show you this and everything that goes into the house. You're selling the house. My perspective was, I want to show more about the community. I want to show kind of the B side of what's going on in Winter Park that makes it different. What's
Right.
going on around Central Florida that makes it special.
But give us more detail, because this is amazing. And one of the things I love about hosting this podcast is that usually people's best ideas, best forward movement came after a beatdown, right? So you get laid off during COVID, that's a beatdown. And yet you say, okay, I got relationships. I've got this knack for kind of putting myself out there. I've got this advertising thing. I've got this B side. I can activate it and go into one of the most mature and hardest to penetrate markets as a real estate broker or representative realtor that you can be. How did you make that switch? To give us a little bit more texture to that.
So
that took some guts.
Sure. Yeah. And I think reflecting on it, it kind of just takes a, I don't really care what people think mentality of, hey, I'm going to put myself out there, and yeah, it probably might be cringy to start, I know the area.
Did it feel cringy to start?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
It felt cringy. It's, I don't know what this is going to be.
I felt like that when we launched this podcast.
Right.
I'm like, people are going to laugh at me. They're going to say, who in the world does that woman think she is? Why would anyone want to listen to her talk about anything? Right. Yep. Yeah. So you felt that too.
I still feel it today.
Okay.
I still feel it today.
And how do you push through it?
Somebody finds it useful.
Okay.
So my background.
If one person finds it useful.
Yep.
Okay.
My background in advertising, like one of the things that stuck with me in one of my classes was, you're going to make this ad, you're going to make this commercial for one person.
Okay.
If it relates to that one person and it sticks and it creates a sale, chances are it's going to convert for somebody else. So that was the thing for me is
patient zero, right? I love it. Okay.
So if I'm putting out a video that's a home buyer tip, that I'm thinking of one person behind my phone screen. I'm talking to that one person. Hey, what's a home buyer tip? What's a home seller tip?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking of you, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And you're this person. I've got like a persona in my mind that I'm talking to one person.
Okay.
If that resonates with
Asking
that one
for
person,
a friend, what tip would you give me? If it was me on the video.
It totally, it depends on, what you're looking for. But, you mentioned you're in a townhouse in Winter Park, and let's say you want to upsize or downsize. You need to get familiar with the different townhouses and condos that might be around Winter Park. Find out what amenities they have, what they're.
We don't want to master upstairs, because we want to age in place, don't we?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people, and you need to be familiar with, okay, this building offers this, and it's walking distance to my favorite coffee shop.
Right.
Or this building is a little bit further out, but it has the water views over the lake. And
so on this podcast, we're focusing on, the human activation of your superpower in business, right? So you're definitely using technical skills from your advertising background, your training and certification as a realtor, et cetera. But it's the understanding the people part that's really activating that. And I love AI. Like, we're using AI tools all the time in the office now and in my practice as a content creator. However, focusing on what's going to be required after AI has automated everything else is where people are going to stand out. And one of the reasons why we wanted to have you on here is we feel like you're figuring this out. You're disrupting how people consume real estate services in Central Florida. Tell us a little bit more about that journey of getting past the cringe moment to, what was your first video on?
Man.
Hi, I'm Trevor.
Yeah. I really think it was, hey, here's who I am. I'm a new real estate agent in the Orlando area. I'm from here. This is my background. Here's how I can help you.
Okay.
And it was probably, I mean, 5 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And it was during the end of COVID. And
And you're
if
connecting
I
with people where they are. That's amazing.
yeah. And if
Okay.
I look back on it now, I would probably say that that's a completely different person because I've grown so much in
Right.
terms of my voice and in terms of my
Right.
personality and all that. But yeah, it's absolutely one of those things that I made the conscious decision of I'm going to start and I'm going to keep going
Okay.
and not going to
So
stop.
what happens after the first video? What happened?
I think like 4 people liked it
Okay.
and nobody commented on it.
Okay.
And
And so what
I
do you
made
do
another one.
next? Yeah. So
Then
I
you
made
make another
another
one.
one.
Yeah.
The iteration. This is amazing. Okay. So you made another one.
Yeah. And then, I mean, you make it 1,000 times and you see what sticks. And so if you go on my page, it's not the same thing over and over and over. It's, hey, here's a new experience that I had. I went to this new place that just opened up, or I went to the pancake breakfast that's here in Winter Park, and here's my experience. And that's what I found is, there's insights that you can find on social media in your accounts.
And you're mostly on YouTube, or are you showing up on all channels?
Instagram mostly.
Mostly. Okay.
hmm
Okay.
And what you can find is what are other people seeing in your videos and what are people sharing and saving? Not just liking and commenting, but what do they find that is useful to them and they're sharing with somebody else?
So
or
they're building a genome of what success looks like for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. All right. Okay, so let's talk the mechanics of what you're doing. So you're now showing up on Instagram. Are you posting every day? Is it all video? Do you do some stills? Do you want to share any of I know you don't want to give away all your secrets, but
No, I could talk about this for hours.
I want to hear about it.
It's a mix of everything. Again, it's kind of that like I'm still figuring it out approach where, I mean, I haven't reached 10,000 hours, the mastery
Yeah, I know
of,
all about that
of
Malcolm Gladwell metric. We love it. Yep.
So one of my favorite things to think about with that is if you did something every day for 4 hours, 4 hours every day, it would take you 7 years to reach 10,000 hours.
I feel like I kind of know what I'm supposed to be doing in the job I'm in now that I'm in my 9th year doing it.
Sure.
Like, and I hate to tell everybody this, but for the first 8 years, I was like, I don't think I really know what I'm doing.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm doing is I'm more documenting what I do rather than trying to create something from thin air.
So what's happening? People are tell me about that life cycle. You're creating a video, somebody's watching it, and then talk about that place where it converts to a lead that converts to a commission for you. Because you're killing it. This is amazing.
So typically what happens, and what it is, it's the buildup of the full resume of everything that I've posted over the last 5 years.
Okay.
So it's not specifically that last video that I made that is the conversion. What typically happens is that somebody will reach out and message me and say, I've been following your page for 3 months. I've been following your page for 6 months, and I love all the things that you've posted. And now I want to work with you because a job has come up, or our family is growing, or we're relocating, but I've been following you for a while.
So for everyone who needs the courage to keep going, right? You want to do
Mhm.
that first cringy thing, and then you want to keep going, right? That's why they should keep going.
Absolutely.
Wow.
It's the buildup of you've created this mountain of evidence of you are who you say you are. And
it wasn't just a one-off.
exactly. Because if I made one video and 4 people liked it and nothing came of it, it would be easy to say like, well, that didn't work. Let me try postcards. Let me try newspaper ads. Let me try something else.
Right.
But it's the evidence of, man, this guy shows up in my feed once a week.
And it's giving me free stuff all the time.
Sure.
He's giving me a free guide to his Winter Park.
Right.
Okay, so they're calling you after seeing you, following you for 3 to 6 months, and then what happens?
Normally, it ends up as a message in my social media. It's
so okay. I remember my mom worked for Fannie Hillman in the 80s. She had to man the desk with the phone
Yep.
so they could get the leads to come in and distribute them across the, the staff. So you're getting DM'd
Mhm.
with people who want to buy real estate from you.
Sure. I mean, we still man the desk and do
Yeah.
the old school.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got, I don't know how many people walk Park Avenue every year.
Yeah.
That might be a you question. Probably 1 million people
Yeah.
every year walk by our office looking in the windows, and we do the old school, go out, talk to them, create the lead, nurture the relationship, see it to, I've done deals that way. But there's also this new aspect of using social media technology to, rather than being boots on the ground, person to person,
They're coming to you.
they're coming to me.
They're coming to you.
Mm-hmm.
This is phenomenal. Okay, so do you have any idea about like your DM to commission in the bank conversion rate?
That would probably be a great stat to look up. I do track where all of my deals come from, whether it's sphere of influence, friends, family, referral, something like
You can
that.
tell you got an advertising background.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
it. Sphere of influence. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I do track, did I find this person? Did they meet me at an open house? Did they meet me at a networking event? I track where all that comes from. And I do have multiple deals from this year that came from my social media.
And is that the leader? Is that the leading source of leads for
it's
you?
it's not the leader, but it is a significant chunk of my business.
And it completes the brand picture of who you are.
Sure.
Wow, you've got this authoritative voice. People are actually following you. And now I think holding the audience is half of what makes you the leader in what you're doing, right? And so people are following what you're doing. So I'm curious to know, you've disrupted this approach to Winter Park real estate, which, let's face it, Winter Park is fantastic, but it does not like change. Okay. Have you come up against anybody who's like, oh, I don't, this is too much for me? I mean, obviously you know how to still flex it old school, but do you like doing it that way now?
I really do. I really do.
You still like the old school methodologies, even though you're Mr. Real Estate Instagram for Central Florida?
So I like both because it creates another aspect of the business where I have friends who I've connected with on social media. They're friends in real life. And I sit at the desk on Park Ave and they walk by and turn their head and they go, there you are.
Yeah.
Saw
you on Instagram
you're
and
everywhere.
Here you are. So that kind of omni-channel mentality of, I'm going to do events, I'm going to do social, I'm going to do a newsletter. That's really smart.
I've had friends of mine say, it feels like you're everywhere. And I see your face at this and you're at this event that I'm at. And that's what I'm trying to create. I don't want anyone to forget that I'm their realtor of choice.
That's fantastic. So I really love this, because at the end I'm going to ask you to use one word to describe what you think your B-side to the record is. So you got some time to cook on it here. But for me, it's like so much of what you're saying is this rich, textured understanding of how advertising works, right? So Addie, my CMO, is probably going to be mad at me for saying this, but we used to have a podcast and it was under the brand, the Winter Park Chamber of Commerce. And people didn't really tune in. And so we set a new brand strategy where I become kind of the flagship of the Winter Park Chamber of Commerce, right? And so people want to relate, as you know, to a person, not a brand. So when we create this podcast and it's focused on my name as the leading thing about it, but we're talking about chamber stuff and community stuff on here, we get about 1,000-fold engagement than we got when it was the Winter Park Chamber of Commerce. So this rich understanding of people who need to buy a house, I don't think anybody's ever going to want to fully automate a house buy. Do you?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Now, having said that, I'm going to confess something to you.
Okay.
And I want to brag on Fannie Hillman and Associates for this. I bought my house sight unseen when I lived in London, England. I had to have my brother, I had to go to the embassy in London to give my brother power of attorney to close my house. I had not seen it.
Wow. That's brave. And I mean, talk about having trust in somebody. I mean, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah. So I had a long-term relationship with Fannie Hillman and Associates. I had a 20-year relationship with this agent. And, she said to me, and I was getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And divorce is one of those big moments in real estate. I'm sure I don't have to tell you. That's
Mm-hmm.
like your business is probably made on divorce, right? So it's
Not
selling,
always.
buying. And as I like to say, they issue your townhouse with your divorce papers when you're a midlife woman getting divorced, right? Here's your townhouse and you're divorced, right? So, and I thought, God, that's so cliche. I don't want to live in a townhouse. That's going to just draw focus to the fact that I've completely failed at the one thing I was supposed to succeed at in life. But my realtor said to me, she goes, Betsy, I've done this. I've been divorced in my 40s and I had to raise 2 kids in high school, and they went to the school that my kids were going to. And she said, because I called her and I said, listen, I'm moving back there in 2 months and I can't come back and look at anything.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to give me what you think is the best thing on the market.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, it's this townhouse. And I was like, oh God, could there be anything sadder than being 45 years old and moving into a townhouse, right? With your 2 kids. She said, you want your house to be the walkable epicenter of their whole existence, my
Sure.
teenage kids, right? And I was like, okay. She goes, also, you don't want to be taking care of a huge yard and a pool. And I was like, okay. I mean, she just told me, she's like, I walked in your shoes and here's what you need to do. And I didn't want a townhouse at all. Okay. And so I said, fine, I don't have any bandwidth for this. Do it. And so my brother closed the whole thing for me. And it's the best investment I've ever made.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it for $150 a square foot. What's it worth now? Probably $450 a foot.
I was going to say
probably,
but yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
that's
depending on
11-year time frame,
but
right?
yeah.
And it's the happiest thing I've ever done. I love it. I walk all the time down to Park Avenue with my dog, and my kids went to a private school where we had professional athletes in 8,000 square feet homes with ski-doos and watercraft and everything. And my little townhouse was their community center.
Yeah.
And this realtor understood exactly who I was as a person better than I did. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So this strategy that you're taking of showing up as this person and giving value as a person first is really eroding the one thing you have that's working against you as a realtor, which is the commoditization of how many realtors are there in Central Florida? Thousands.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that journey of experiencing the differentiator that you created for yourself.
I mean, I think your story is incredible, and it really gets down to that like human level, somebody really understanding you of here's who you are and what you want. I try and do that as well. I try and sit people down and say, what's important to you? What do you do on the weekends? What's driving you to make these memories in this home? If you just want the biggest home possible for the least amount of money, go to West Virginia or, go to Texas or something. But if you want community, if you want something that you can walk to your closest coffee shop, if you want that, you need to be looking at certain areas. And I think that...
Would you offer a townhouse to a midlife divorce lady?
Absolutely.
Heck yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people move for all sorts of reasons. And what I'm trying to do is, again, bring that human level to it. It's talking to people, pretending like I'm talking one-to-one.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just showing the houses. It's showing, hey, I'm on the ground at my favorite spot on Park Avenue. Here's what that's like.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what this event is like. And you can
My
go to that.
My favorite waitress at Barney's is named Jasmine, and I love checking in with her when I see her, and she runs that place like a tight ship. It's amazing. Yeah.
Right.
That stuff.
It's the what makes this place special, and why does that matter to you?
Mm-hmm.
Rather than,
let me sell you a house.
Here's a big house, 3,000 square feet.
I don't know if this is part of your lexicon, but my mom said buyers are liars. Do you ever use that phrase?
And sellers are too.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you've really got to cut through the clutter and try to go deeper and understand. And we focus on this podcast on the B side because people don't want to spend money unless they have a problem, right? And that problem is my house is too small. I'm getting divorced. I'm getting relocated, whatever that is. And so they're coming to you with a problem set. And I think it's, instead of saying, I want a pool, I want a 2-car garage, I want a whatever, it's, here's my problem. Here's my problem. I got to parent 2 teenage kids by myself,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I can't, I don't have time for a pool and yard and all this nonsense. And I got to be able to create a community center for teenagers immediately.
It's pain and pleasure.
Yeah.
It's going towards going towards pleasure and away from pain. I sit people down when they send me a lead, when they ask me a question, and we start driving towards okay, are you serious about it? I ask them who, what, when, where, why.
Okay.
And why is one of the most important
What are
questions.
some of the big whys that have shocked you?
That have shocked me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, some funny ones that stand out are like a lot of millennials, a lot of people in their mid 30s. They say, "Well, we've got a dog and we want a bigger yard." And they'll make a significant move for their pets.
So we've focused a lot on pet ownership as a vector to brand loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And it is amazing to me how much we hear about that. And
Yeah.
I think that's one of the hacks that businesses could start figuring out. You know, more and more luxury hotels are like, of course you can bring your dog. We're going to charge you so much extra for that. We can't wait to do that, right?
Yeah.
Instead of having rules about the dog because the carpet might get stained. Okay, get carpet squares and pop another one of those in and charge somebody $500 for that.
Mm-hmm.
Not a problem. So pets. Now, are you seeing a difference in the way different generations are having different, of course they are, because different stages of life, but okay, so if you could say that about millennials, what would you say is like a Gen X
Mhm.
kind of need?
Well,
What
so
do they
a
want?
lot of that generation, they want to move closer to friends and family.
Okay.
So they want more of that community feel,
Okay.
where it's less important about the size of their home and it's more important about the location. It's more important, hey, I want to be down the street from my best friend and I want to go on walks with my
Right.
best friend every day.
Right. That's, yeah.
And so more and more of that generation is based around creating community.
Okay.
And so it's, I want to live closer to my kids because they had to relocate for a job to Central Florida, Disney, wherever. That's where I want to live too. I want to be close to them. I want to be a present grandparent or parent.
Right. Are you seeing, because we're focused on this a lot, the crisis of loneliness that's really crystallized since the pandemic? And it's disproportionately affecting young people who've been relegated to working from home, which at first was sold to them as this amazing, wonderful thing that's going to give you digital nomad status potentially, or you could get to write the own rules. And we've heard from different sources over the years about this restructuring of how people perceive community. But we're seeing that there's an almost a boomeranging of the importance of a chamber of commerce, or the importance of a place of worship, or the importance of a country club, or a Kiwanis club, or a Rotary club. Are you seeing that show up in this? Are you seeing like a yearning for community that is different in people coming to you wanting that because they maybe can't say, hey, Trevor, I feel alone and isolated, but is it showing up in other ways?
So a bit of a vulnerable moment here with you. I have also been divorced and have kind of found that in my life as well.
Mm-hmm.
Single guy, kind of looking for community networking events, and that's a lot of why I share the things that I share. I go to run clubs and networking and all these events. I mean, I've got a great friend support group, family, all of that. So I do believe that there is kind of that underside of, yes, there probably is a yearning for it. I think that there are people who probably aren't very well able to describe it, as you said, as like, hey, I'm lonely. I'm looking for something to do. I'm looking for a friend group. I'm looking for a network. Can you help me? I think that there are people, I mean, you can track the metrics of all of the best performing videos and things that I've done. It's all about events going on, places, run clubs to meet people, all these events and things that are going
Right.
on where people want that feeling of, I feel like I belong here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we call it belonging. Like,
Hmm.
we're not focused on DE&I stuff. That's not our focus. Our focus is on you can belong here. If you have a way to get here, or if you have a way to get here virtually, you can belong to what we're doing by following this podcast. You
Sure.
belong here, right? And we're intentional about, we're not going to show you one type of person that belongs here. We're going to show you a lot of different types of people that belong here. And I love that what you're creating is leading with that sense of belonging. I'm going to make Winter Park, I'm going to be transparent here. Winter Park has got a kind of a brand problem in that there's a dedicated group of people that want a walled city. We want to keep this just for us, right?
Hmm.
This is so great. We don't want any of those new people to come in and ruin it, right?
Hmm.
And so that's a real challenge for me in exporting the brand Winter Park, because how can I get you excited about it if you've also heard it's just for us, right?
Hmm.
And that's a challenge. But what I think you're doing is lowering that barrier to entry. You're demystifying the Winter Park brand for them. You're letting them into the cheat codes of how they can come and make Winter Park for them, right? Do you feel, is that something you're aware that you're doing when you're doing it because maybe of your advertising background? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm absolutely aware of it. And there's always feedback that I get in comments of,
Do you have haters?
absolutely.
Oh, I was so excited. I got my first hater comment. I felt like, yeah, I've really arrived. This is
You're not,
amazing.
if you don't have haters, you're not doing enough.
Okay. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
so I'll get comments all the
I
time.
hear you, haters. Come on.
There's comments all the time that are, I can't believe that you're advertising Florida. We don't need more people to
Yeah.
come here. Florida's full. It's all this. And like, I
Florida's
understand that.
full.
But if you think that me with my little social media channel is disrupting and booming the population of the state of Florida because of my little videos, I mean, like, I'm going to pat myself on the back
Right.
because that's a huge accomplishment if
Right.
you think that I'm making that big of a difference. If I help 10 people move to
But remember,
Florida,
you're only doing it for that one. That was
exactly.
one of the key things you said today. I just love that, right? Because a lot of people want to start, but they don't know how to start, right? So it's start, and it's also do it for that one person.
Mhm.
And then also, I love how you're approaching like being flattered by the haters, right? That's obviously I'm doing something right. How many people follow you on Instagram right now?
I have 35,000 on Instagram.
And you've only been doing this for 5 years.
Mhm.
I love this story. All right. Here's the closing question.
Okay.
Right. What's the name of the B-side for you? What's the one word that describes the B-side to your record?
I would say dynamic.
I would say dynamic too. I have enjoyed this conversation so much. Thank you for enlightening me. I learned a lot. I hope our listeners did. I know they will have. And I wish you continued success. I love
Thank
the way
you.
you're disrupting this model. I love that you're a partner for us and how you're showcasing the best of what Winter Park has to offer. It's a place I'm really proud to live in, to have grown up in, to have raised my children in my divorced lady townhouse, of course. And then, to celebrate what's so great about it, and to make sure that we make it a place where everyone can belong. I really appreciate the work you're doing. Thanks for
Of
being on with
course.
us today.
Thank you.